with the whole, we all know what happened with um, uh, whatever his name is from Humanist Report, that guy talking shit to Sabby and Colin. It seems, from what it seems like, what Sabby was saying is that Jordan kind of invited himself into this argument when he shouldn't have. It had nothing to do with him. Plus, he's having a baby right now. So, like, even more so of, like, you know, not getting yourself riled up into drama. You've got a brand new baby that you have to take care of. So, this is her little thing in here that I absolutely loved how she did it. She definitely brought in the receipts with this whole situation. Yeah, there you go. Mike Figueredo. That's his name. There's like so many of them. I always get him, the Humanist Report, the Rational National mixed up, their names mixed up. And then the secular talk guy, like all three of them look the same, very much look the same. So sometimes I'm like, I get their names mixed up a lot. So, and plus I'm so used to saying, what is it? I say Mike Wazowski or Luke Wazowski from We Are Change. So every time I hear that, or hear Mike Figueredo, I want to say Mike Wazowski, kind of like from from Monsters Inc. But I know I call Luke, whatever his name is from We Are Change, I call him Luke Wazowski. So I'm always getting names mixed up and all of that. Yeah, Mike Figueredo. He's definitely turned into a shit lib recently.
It's not cool. Not cool with me. If you are not on Twitter, you may not have seen this. But the past couple of days have been a little cray. We've had, by we, I mean those of us at RBN, we had Mike Figueredo from the Humanist Report calling us names, calling us dipshits because we were right about something that he was wrong about. Then we had Jordan Chariton try to come in to this same discussion and give his 2 cents about something that he was not even a part of. But that's not even the issue. The issue is what he said. You see, I don't appreciate being lied on, whether it's me or the rest of us at RBN. There's a difference between not liking someone and lying on someone. And I want to be clear. You don't have to like me.
Right,
you don't have
Lily?
To like
exactly.
That's cool. But when you have to stoop low and you have to make up lies about people, that's when I have a problem. That's when I have a problem. So Colin tweeted this out. What a weekend I've had. Twitter can be a cesspool, but I want to thank you all for coming to my and Sabby's defense when we confronted Humanist Report with the truth. I know I could have ended up being trolled, but surprisingly, that did not happen. And yeah, shout out to all of you. A lot of you guys came to our defense. I told you I got a lot of emails. I received a lot of emails, a lot of DMs, a lot of support from you guys that saw this exchange on Twitter, both the one with Humanist Report and this one with Jordan Chariton that followed. So thank you guys for that. Now, I want you to look at this tweet again. Colin wrote this tweet. Notice my name is tagged in this tweet. This has nothing to do with Jordan Chariton. Yet he brought himself into it. Now he slides in my DMs and tells me that he's at the hospital having a baby. Congratulations. Why are you arguing with people on Twitter while you're having a baby? Where are your priorities? I've never heard of that. When my mom had my sister, I still remember this day. When my mom had my sister, that was the only thing that mattered at that time. The only thing that mattered. You pull away from your child being delivered into this world to argue with people on Twitter about something that has nothing to do with you? What is wrong with people? So, it really did not make any sense. He chimes in to this discussion. Let me show you what he said. Having integrity, let me show you what he's responding to. So I don't know who WTF is, but WTF said, watching folks such as Humanist Report, Kyle Kulinski, David Dole, and Jordan Chariton, all who seem to have such integrity and potential crash and burn in real time, has been astonishing and heartbreaking to say the least. Now, again, you are having a baby. Why did you even respond? So he responds. He stepped in it. This is what he says. Having integrity means not playing for clicks. It also means not ignoring the exploding white supremacy and violent conspiracists coming from the GOP because grifters pretend the gravest threat in America is AOC and liberal shitlibs. Not ignoring the exploding white supremacy. This is the line. You crossed the line. Why is Jordan Chariton trying to explain to Black people about white supremacy? Who are you to come in and tell us about white supremacy, Jordan? Who do you think? What is happening here? Now I'm going to get into this. I'm going to show you how often we actually have discussed white supremacy. But this is the line you do not cross. You crossed the line, you got a little too comfortable. That's a problem. This is a long thread. He comes back for more and more, over and over. So it's not just that. Then he replied with this. He goes on to say, let me make this bigger for you guys. I really can't with this guy. I really can't. He says, piss off. You guys pretend to be revolutionary when you spend 75% of your time shitting on YouTubers and giving dissertations on who the real left. Then when called out, you call racism. You see how he's stepping this line?
Yeah, I agree what you were saying. Jordan is acting like the gatekeeper of the left right here. Like he's the voice of the left, which is that's typical of Jordan's personality. Jordan has that kind of personality. It's a lot of things that you'll learn here in the progressive media sphere is there are a lot of really big egos, and they will eventually show themselves, and you just got to remember, if this one ego is showing him or herself, and they hang out with or very close to certain other people, like minds think alike. So, who is Jordan out there hanging out with? Who does he have shows with? Who are his close friends? Watch out for them as well. If these guys are showing themselves, Mike Figueredo, Jordan Chariton, just look at who they're associating themselves with as well. And you'll see there's a lot of big egos out here. It's pathetic and it's really bad. And they all need a slice of humble pie for sure.
I didn't intend to criticize you or RBN, but now I certainly do. Who the fuck were you? Who were you talking to, Jordan? You see your name was tagged in a tweet and you just go, by the way, you're having a baby. Let me just go ahead and respond to the tweet real quick. You didn't look at the original tweet. You always go back to see the original tweet. It was a thread, obviously. He goes on to say, hope the clicks are worth it. Now, this piece right here, you guys pretend to be revolutionary when you spend 75% of your time shitting on YouTubers. I'm going to show you what we spend our time doing in just a second. But you know who else talks about YouTubers? Because it's definitely not just RBN. Jordan Chariton also talks about YouTubers. Now, he says 75% of your time, right? 75% of your time? Okay. Which is actually not true, but I'll get to that. Why isn't Jordan Chariton calling out his white friends who talk about podcasters every day? Why isn't Jordan Chariton calling out his white friends who spend 100% of their time talking about podcasters? Why is he holding RBN to a different standard? Why is he okay with the white boys talking about podcasters, but he's going to come and attack the Black group for doing it? Why are you okay with that? Why didn't he give them that same energy that he gave us? Why didn't he do that?
Because Jordan has a big ego and thinks that he can say whatever he wants. And there's a privilege when it comes to these egotistical white men. They don't realize that some of the things that they say is racist and they need to be put in their place. Thank you, Sabby, for putting him in his place.
Because maybe, just maybe, it's not really about talking about podcasters. Maybe it's not what we've talked about, it's who we talked about. I want to show you something. Listen to this video. I'm going to show you what he's really upset about. It's not about talking about podcasters. It's about a certain person that he feels can't be touched. Listen to this.
RBN is also reporting on the ground and doing mutual aid. Okay. I don't really watch them much.
Let me preface this. He is responding to a comment, obviously, from a live stream.
RBN is also reporting on the ground and doing mutual aid. Okay. I don't really watch them much from the stuff I've seen.
He don't really watch us much. I don't really watch them much, but you spend 75% of your time. But you don't really watch us, right? Which is it?
Has mostly been them shitting on other YouTubers, but I'll take your word for it. I know they do mutual aid, but the stuff I've seen on their channel has mostly been beefing and shitting on YouTube hosts and David Sirota. So whatever that means.
That's what it's really about. You can go over to the Vanguard channel and see nothing but beefing and shitting on YouTube hosts. Why doesn't he have a problem with them doing that? It's not about the fact that we were talking about podcasters, which, by the way, I don't talk about most of the time on this show. It's about the fact that we criticize his friend David Sirota. That's what this is about. What you have to understand is that there's some people in this space that you're not supposed to criticize, apparently. They're not supposed to be critiqued. And one of those people is David Sirota. Some people don't like that. They didn't like that CJ criticized David Sirota. CJ was right about David Sirota. David Sirota was in the wrong. But because of who he is, you're not supposed to cross that line. I say F that. I say F that. But that's what this is about. Because we criticize his friend. Notice he didn't say, oh, they were shitting on Nick Brana, which has happened multiple times on RBN. Nope. It's David Sirota. That was the buzzword. That was the ding, ding, ding. But he's holding us to a different standard. So what I did, I'm going to show you this here. I retweeted this, and I said, don't ever try to explain to a group of Black activists what white supremacy is. The audacity of some of these white progressives, we literally have an entire section about social justice and police brutality, but he's the white savior, so he knows best. And this isn't just from this communication with Jordan. This is not just from this communication. There's other things that he has said and things that have happened behind the scenes that you guys have not seen. Like, this isn't new. We've been dealing with this stuff behind the scenes since the day we started. That he has said that gives off this savior complex. I'm the only one on the ground. We're going to debunk that in just a second too, by the way. I'm the only one. I'm the only one on the ground.
That's a lot of these progressive leaders of like these nonprofit organizations or these media organizations are like that. That's exactly what they think. They're like, I'm the only one out here doing this work. We're the only ones doing it. And it's a bait and switch kind of words. I remember when I was working at the strip club, there was a new strip club in the next town over that had just opened up. And we were so jealous of the fact that it was like this new strip club opening up that we would say, the DJ would say on the speakerphone, we're the best and only strip bar in that district, even though we weren't. And it was like the whole, well, we're the best, we're the only ones that are doing this on it's a bait and switch. It's kind of like a manipulation to make people think that you're the only one out there doing the work when there's actually other ones out there doing the same thing. Just he wants to be the gatekeeper and the owner of that, which comes with that ego. I'm telling you, there's a lot of them out there in this political progressive sphere right now. We just haven't been able to see it yet. A lot of people haven't seen it yet. They're out there. It's out there right now. Trust me.
I'm the only one that talked about friend. I'm not an activist. I'm a journalist. I. So I want to show you here. Let me show you what we do. So I put here an entire section, and I'll show you the channel as well.
Hi, Brandy. Good to see you.
Piece here about on the ground. Now, he claims he's the only one on the ground. You see in that video, he was like, yeah, okay, I guess whatever. He knew we were on the ground. I'm going to show you how he knew we were on the ground. What people don't realize is that Jordan Chariton used to send us tweets like, he was sending us tweets all the time. Retweet this, retweet that. We would do a back and forth thing. Here's a tweet that I sent to Jordan Chariton about my work on the ground. Let me show you something. Because see, I don't like being lied on. Now watch this. Let's go back to the beginning here. Pause. This is a tweet.
Why have I not seen this? I'm going to have to look this up today too. Holy crap. That's amazing. I would love to see the Vanguard going at it with Aaron Matei, because I know Aaron Matei can take on both of those guys. Like, Aaron Matei's intelligence alone can take on like Vanguards and like their identical doppelganger twins. Aaron Matei is fucking smart. I love you too, Brandy. You missed it earlier. Lana sent me a video on Twitter. On Facebook of this like cat area. It's like this building that has like a buttload of cats and like a bunch of cat stuff, like cat toys and cat wheels and cat beds. And there's like 100 cats in there. And I was showing that this morning because Lana was like, oh, it looks cool. Just show it off. The first thing I said when I showed it off this morning, I was like, Brandy needs to be here. Like, this is her heaven right now. Like, I literally want to tell Brandy, here is your dream home. I'll have to send it to you in a little bit so you can see. It's like a cat haven. It's so cool. And like they live stream on Facebook. So I want to show you because I was talking about you this morning when I was showing it. I was like, this is Brandy's heaven right here.
Now, this is when I was at Grant Manor Housing Projects. Now, I was with United Front Against Displacement. I was working with them on this. They were the ones that made me aware of it. So I did go to interview people at Grant Manor about the building falling apart and the mayor not trying to help. They're just letting the buildings fall apart, the housing projects building fall apart so that they can push those people out, tear it down, and build a luxury complex. It's a problem. It's happening all over the city, but that's a whole nother story. I did a whole stream on it, on the ground. And that's not the only one. I've done multiple streams on the ground. But let me show you something here. Mayor Wu, Grant Manor Housing Project has structural damage. The ceiling is separating from the wall on the 7th floor. As the mayor, when are you going to fix the housing issue? And for those who are not aware, Mayor Wu's husband is also a real estate developer, so she's a part of the problem. Now, I posted this video. This is a clip of the actual stream. So there's me. Watch this. Let's see who retweeted it. Wait for it. Oh, what do you know? Is that Jordan? What? But he don't know what we do. But he the only one on the ground. But we pretend to be revolutionary. You see what this is about? I don't appreciate being lied on. That's the problem. Now we'll go back because there's more in this thread. Oh, wow, a mutual aid political party with Case Study QB and the General Strike Summit. Case was here for that. For all of it. General Strike Summit, a mutual aid political party where Case Study QB broke down what he wanted to start, what he wanted to do, and asked people, if you want to help, reach out. He did a whole PowerPoint presentation for it. Case was also a part of our General Strike Summit. He did a whole PowerPoint presentation. General Strike Summit full of activists, organizers, union leaders. Oh, what the fuck is this? A housing panel, you don't say. Foreign policy, Marxist hour, LGBTQ activists, a union panel, T-Mobile and Sprint organizers. This is just a little bit. This is just a little bit. And by the way, this is on the home page.
Yeah, they do so much work over at RBN. Even with like Rome, the Unholy Rome over there doing his tour for the poor, they're doing so much direct activism out there and doing the good work. I can't believe Jordan would even say something like this about RBN for as much as they've been doing. Especially even like Rome. Rome is really out there working his ass off, really, proving a point that direct action is the way to go. Mutual aid is the way to go. For Jordan to even say something like this about RBN is just wrong. Absolutely wrong. Very selfish, egotistical, closed-minded of Jordan. A lot of assumptions that are apparent. I believe that those are assumptions of Jordan because, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. And he's obviously assuming things without basing anything off of fact.
Here's the Earth Day rally with me and Joe Stein on the ground in Massachusetts Peace Action on the ground. I was a speaker. Let's go on. There's more. A ballot initiatives panel. What the fuck was this? Again, this is on the home page. Ballot initiatives panel. Let's see who's a part of this panel. We got Kira from Heartlands Media. CJ, everyone's state is under their name. There was a reason for that. CJ, I think someone else came in for Franco that day. Ron Pacone, who's a part of Status Quo. What? Let's go on. You got Rome from Michigan. There's Gavin from the Vanguard, Missouri. And there's Meg's state is Florida. You can't see it with the timestamp. Where we did a whole panel breaking down ballot initiatives and telling people the pros and cons of ballot initiatives and how it works in each state. No, but we shouldn't on YouTube. Let's go on. Oh my God, not the Uhuru movement. Well. You mean to tell me Amali Yeshitela was here with me? Jordan Chariton want to talk to us about white supremacy? Did he see this entire interview with O'Malley breaking down white supremacy? But we don't talk about that though. We don't go there. So you see the problem? This is just a little bit. What the fuck is this? An entire activist summit with union leaders and organizers. But we don't do nothing though. We don't talk to workers. And it cracks me up when he says, the real change is happening with the workers. Motherfucker, we're the workers. Who the fuck you think we are?
Dude, she is on fire, man. She is just spitting fire right now. I love her going off like this, seeing her get just like professionally mad. It's so good.
Makes us as if we don't know what it's like to be a worker. Oh, fuck. No. Get out of here. Get out of here. Boston public housing exposed. Wait a minute. Is that me? United Front Against Displacement. Boston corrupt housing exposed. No, but we don't do this stuff. Here's the Assange rally. Hands off Assange in DC. I was just there. And I was a speaker on the ground. And by the way, we don't have the money that status quo had. We don't have that kind of money. So when I went to DC, that was my money that I spent. We don't have the money to travel across the country and be on the ground all the time like they do. Why? We don't have that. He make more than we do. Come on, man. Get out of here. Get out of here. Don't come at me with this shit. And I don't have a fancy camera. I don't have a fancy microphone. I have a cheap ass microphone that I got online where the bottom piece fell out. I don't have a camera. When I go on the ground, I use my cell phone. And Eric, my producer, can tell you because Eric is with me. But we don't do it though. We don't do that shit. We don't go there. Tour for the Poor Boston. Wait, what is this? Now, why would Rome and Sabby be feeding and clothing homeless people? But we don't do nothing though. Why are you holding us to this standard? Why are you holding us to this standard? And you ain't saying this to your friends. You guys see the blind spots here? You see the problem? You see how they hope? This is what they do. Why do you think people like me, Brianna Joy Gray, the rest of us are being, why you guys think we attack so much? Think about it. Look at the way a lot of these white liberals came after Brianna Joy Gray on Twitter. Did Jordan Chariton jump in? Did Mike Figueredo jump in? Nah, they silent.
She's right. Us as white people need to check our fucking privilege. She is absolutely goddamn right. And she's calling it out and seeing it like it is. She's fucking right.
Pay attention to things like that. Why do y'all think so? Why do you think this happening? A women's summit. Why could I have done this? A women's summit where we discuss domestic abuse, healthcare activism, and workplace actions. You don't say. Here's the activist summit here with Shama Sawant, Medea Benjamin, Afeni, Glory, Josana. This ain't happened. Violence Against Women Act, where we talked about actual victims. These women are actual victims. Some of them victims of domestic abuse, and telling people how they can get help. Let's keep going. Women in the workplace. What do you know? All the women on the panel were actually fucking workers. Where we talked about some of the challenges you face. We talked about trying to ask for a raise. What it's like, why women don't ask for a raise, why women don't negotiate salary. But we don't talk about those things. We have a women's healthcare panel right here. Marianne Williamson, Savage Joy, Kim Iverson, Eleanor Goldfield. There's Jimmy from KRTD, where we talked about the fact that you have a percentage of women that are not getting annual checkups because of fear and because of lack of insurance.
Yep. And that was a really amazing panel. The women there completely impressed me. It was an incredible panel. A lot of, especially like Eleanor did really good on explaining a lot of things. So there was, she remembers me. I was so excited that she remembers me. So yeah.
Talked about the health problems that women face, but these things don't happen, according to Jordan Chariton. Now I'm going to show you something else because, like I said, all you had to do, if you go to RBN's page, again, this is the home page. Let's scroll down. Oh, damn, Activist Summit. Let's keep on scrolling. RBN clips. Assange activist, Julian Assange activist? What is this? Not Socialist Alternative with Shama Sawant. Right over here, Socialist Alternative with Shama Sawant. I don't know why the type VNC is, it's delayed. Socialist Alternative was here. That's Shama Sawant's organization. They came on to talk about, what? They came on with Shama Sawant to talk about the organization. What, I don't understand. So yes, sometimes we do talk about podcasters. We never said we didn't. But for him to say that's 75% of what we do, and he gonna hold us to that standard and lie on us, but he not gonna say nothing about the two white boys that do this 100% of the time. Get the fuck out of here. I see you. Watts Community Corps Outreach, Los Angeles RBN Outreach. The woman from Watts Community Corps, she was here. She was here. Revolutionary Marxist students, the student group came. Let's go on. There's so much more. Activist Summit. Look, this was an entire weekend, you guys. This wasn't just one stream. We do this shit 24/7. We did this 24 hours.
I love her with the receipts, you know, of her proving like this is what we do. This is the activism that we've been proving. Like she really proved to Jordan, like you haven't been paying attention to us at all and just making assumptions off of, you know, your privilege. So I think she did amazing job on bringing the receipts to show to Jordan.